This is Ryan Fecto with US Builders Review. I'm live here in Washington, D.C. for the Greenbuild conference and Expo. I'm with Hugh Molyneux with Refined Risk. He's the president of the company, certainly doing some fantastic work. We wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you, Hugh, a little bit about what Refined Risk is, of course, and some of your background as well, and how the company came to be, if you will.
Sure.
And I'll let you take the floor for a little bit, and I'll throw some more questions at you, so long as you have the time.
All right, good. Thank you very much. So, Refined Risk was founded back in 2008. In 2008, and essentially the company was formed to address a need in the property management and real estate market to manage risk data. So that wasn't the kind of core data that those companies were managing in the area of rents and so on and so forth, but more, how the building's performing from a sustainability standpoint, managing occupational health and safety concerns. And then also another factor was just environmental issues, things like asbestos and PCBs that were in older buildings.
Right.
So basically we formed the company to provide property managers with a way of consolidating all of that information and putting it in one place.
And you're based in Toronto?
We are, yeah.
Excellent. And so here in DC, of course, there's obviously a level of significance of having this expo, this topic of sustainability, green building in the nation's capital, the United States. The capital of the United States, of course, and not quite Canada. What do you see as sort of, if you could pinpoint, what is the significance of being here in Washington, D.C.?
Well, I think certainly from our standpoint in Canada, we've got a very close association with the North, and we're experiencing as a country fairly dramatic climate change. We're very acutely aware as a country about what's happening with the polar ice caps. So the whole area of greenhouse gases and greenhouse emissions is very, very important to Canadians. And in fact, I think if you were down here in Washington, you'll notice there's maybe an overrepresentation of Canadians here at the show. So for us to be here in the capital nation of really the most powerful country in the world economically and otherwise, I think it's completely appropriate that we've got this focus this close to the political center of North America.
Absolutely. And so folks, of course, fed over, I think, 20,000 attendees here at the show in DC. It's quite bustling still, and we're pretty late here on Wednesday, Thursday of the show. So as far as folks visiting your booth, what do you hope is the big takeaway? If there's one thing you're hoping folks are taking away from a visit to Refined Risk booth this afternoon and the day before on Wednesday, what do you feel is most important for them?
That's a great question. That's a really good question. So I think for us, when we're looking at this new phenomenon of smart buildings, we've got buildings now that are generating enormous amounts of data. So we've got data from building information systems, smart meters. I mean, just about everything now in the new Internet of Things has got the opportunity to generate data. Right. So I think people are almost overwhelmed with the amount of data that they can actually review. For us, if we can take that data and compress it down into a view that helps executives and helps senior management make decisions about how they want to do things strategically across a whole portfolio of buildings, then in my view we've done our job and kind of made a difference in terms of having that data be used for something that's valuable and useful in terms of making a difference in the world.
Right, absolutely. Well, we wanted to be a little bit lighthearted. We don't want to be serious all the time. So in light of being here in the nation's capital, we've had many presidents over the lifetime of this country, and perhaps you want to go and go back to your Toronto roots and answer this question in that way. But if you could choose one former president or prime minister or elected official to use your technology in their home or in their business, is there something that you have in mind that you might want to work with?
Well, in Canada we're very excited because we've got a new Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau.
Yes, yeah.
And there's a funny story that when Nixon was visiting Canada, he said to Pierre Trudeau, he introduced in the reception, he said, "I want to introduce the next and future Prime Minister of Canada." And Pierre Trudeau stood up and said he thought it was him, and he actually introduced Justin Trudeau, who was 2 years old at the time. So in Canada, we're calling that the Nixon prediction. They actually predicted the next Prime Minister, a future Prime Minister of Canada. So for us, I think, we're very excited. He's young, he's dynamic, and there's a new exciting future for Canada. So I'd have to pick him.
So maybe we'll have some Canadian governmental buildings using your technology to make sure that they're using their power usage is being used wisely.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
A good plug-in right there.
Thank you.
Well, thanks again, Hugh, for taking the time. I know it's very busy here at the show, and
Yeah.
lots of interactions to take place, but we thank you for taking a slice of your time out of your day. Again, this is Ryan Fecto with U.S. Builders Review here at the Greenbuild Conference and Expo in Washington, D.C. Joined by Hugh with Refine Risk. He's the president of the company. He's also a 2015 editor. The company, rather, is a 2015 Editor's Choice company. So we're happy to have worked with you, and we're so thankful for you taking the time out of your day.
Really appreciate everything. I thought you guys have done a fantastic job with the article, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Really great.
Thank you.